Our chairman, Mr. Richardson, is unable to be here today, so you're going to have to put up with me. It's 9 o'clock. We're bringing this meeting to order. Rhonda, I understand you're going to lead us in the prayer.
And Lord, I thank you for their participation and being willing to be active in the community. I ask that you give the commissioners the wisdom and grace to listen and make decisions that honor you. I thank you for sending your son so that we all can have freedom. In Jesus' name, amen.
Would you please take the roll call?
Commissioner Thayer?
Here.
Commissioner Richardson? Commissioner Schroeder?
Here.
I would like a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Are you ready for a vote?
Yes, sorry. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Please vote. Aye.
Aye. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. May I have a vote? Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're down to elected officials, department heads, and staff reports. Do I have any comments or reports from the elected officials? Do I have any discussion items for the department heads?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, commissioners, other elected officials, staff, fellow citizens. I'm Mark Dedenreader, Director of Community and Economic Development. Today, I'd just like to introduce you to a new member of our Community and Economic Development team, Cynthia T. She's not a new member to county staff, but to our department. She is now our Economic Development Manager. As you know, she has been with the county for nearly a year now in other roles. She started out as a planning tech. Then she worked as a special assistant to the county manager and served as the public information officer, the PIO, in the administration department. She has extensive experience before coming to Elbert County, specific to economic development. She actually worked for the state of Iowa's Department of Economic Development for 10 years. She also served on various economic development committees for the Iowa's governor's office. I'm very excited to have Cynthia as part of our team now, and she's going to be focusing on our economic development strategic plan and working toward those goals identified in that plan. And of course, in this early stage of her getting acclimated and acquainted, we're going to get her connected with the community and have her get connected with our contacts at the local, regional, and state level. I'd like to introduce you to Cynthia.
Good morning, commissioners, staff, and citizens. Thank you, Mark, for your welcoming introduction. I'm very excited about my new role as Economic Development Manager and look forward to implementing the tasks identified in the Elbert County Economic Development Strategic Plan. I have a heart for preserving and sustaining rural communities. I grew up in a small farming town myself. I plan on applying my economic development experience to cultivate existing Elbert County businesses and attract new ones, which will help to ensure the county's fiscal position is healthy for years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any other department head Statements or comments? What about staff reports? Monty, did you have something? Okay. Is there anyone else? There being none, that part of the meeting is over. We'll now go to what's called citizen public comment. We've got 2 letters that we will read, and we had 3 more that come in this morning, but they can't be on the agenda because they weren't received in time. If it's appropriate, we'll read them at the next meeting. So, Dallas, would you read the first one, please?
I'd be glad to. This letter is dated October 23rd of this year to the Board of County Commissioners. Brenda Kelly is the author of this letter, resides with Simla address. It's about the community meeting with Excel on the Power Pathway project. Dear Board, I was under the impression that Excel was, in part, to address community concerns at these meetings. I wanted to let you know that I attended both the one in Simla and in Kiowa and was unable to obtain answers to my concerns. Basically, I was blown off since I don't have the project going through my land. They denied that there was any standing or impact unless it did go through my land. Additionally, I was told that the answer to my concerns was that, quote, everyone has choices. When I asked what my specific choices were for my concerns of A, increased property insurance to cover fire risk, B, loss of property value, which is my only retirement investment, and I currently have over $700,000 in that investment, and C, loss of the reasons we chose to move out east, to live a rural lifestyle and to endure the extra costs and difficulties it brings, which we do for what we gain, to have that only gain removed. The answer was, quote, everyone has choices. I can't tell you what your choices are, only that you have them. Basically a non-answer. This was quoted from David Trujillo. Additionally, they could not answer how the county would benefit from this line. They had lots of benefits for the other parts of the state and a lame explanation that if other parts of the state benefit, somehow that benefit flows back onto the county, but they really couldn't say how. Finally, this morning, as I drove on Highway 86, we live close to where it will enter the highway corridor. I remembering trips I took with my family as a kid. My dad always chose the scenic routes to drive, even if it added a little extra time because of the beauty and small towns we could see. And I realized that the sign out on I-70 that points to Highway 86 as a scenic drive will no longer be valid, and all those who choose to drive scenic routes will no longer take our beautiful drive through Elbert County. No longer will there be travelers stopping in Kiowa or Elizabeth for a cup of coffee, a meal at a small diner, a driving break to shop Main Street in Elizabeth, or to spend the night at the campground. The ramifications of this line spill over into many other areas than just health, wildlife migration patterns, destruction of land, etc. They will impact the very Elbert County life. I believe that the style of meeting that they held was on purpose to dilute the impact of hundreds of concerned citizens. I think it would be imperative to require them to host a meeting or two where all the residents can gather at a set time to listen to each other's concerns and to hear Excel's responses. That would be a more appropriate way of addressing community concerns. Thank you for serving as commissioners who are charged with protecting the best of Elbert County while balancing the needs for funding to maintain this best. Please don't sell out to Excel to balance that financial need. Sincerely, Brenda Kelly.
Thank you. I have an additional letter from Beverly Barant that has a Kiowa address. I am writing a letter I wish to be read into the record as I cannot attend your regular meeting. I would like to give you my thoughts on the XL Power Pathway. I did not attend the recent community meeting in Simla. However, I was told there were over 75 people in attendance. I did go to the community meeting held in Elbert County Fairgrounds. This meeting was very well attended by almost 300 people. I was there for the entire meeting. XL had many employees in attendance, but few answered any questions. They had displays with maps and information and expected people to walk around and look at the information. This is not a community meeting where people could get their questions answered. Several times I asked XL representatives questions about the pathway, and they chose this route as well as how they would address safety concerns. Not once did I receive an answer. Why? What does XL have to hide? Why are they ignoring the people that will be affected directly? The number of people that attended these meetings should be a wake-up call for Elbert County. You should be listening to the people that elected you. Who wants this route? Only XL that I see. I know they have not filed any paperwork with the county yet, but when you do receive this paperwork, you should think twice before it is automatically passed. This route does not fit within any plans the county has in writing, which are the guiding documents you must follow. This will destroy wildlife and natural habitat all along the route they are suggesting. Isn't our Bijou Basin worth fighting for, as well as other areas of our county? This will drastically decrease the property values of any homes, not only on the route, but also surrounding it. This will greatly reduce the taxes the county receives and will be a negative for any work you all have done to make the county finances good again. This will have a negative This will have a negative effect on the local school. Not only will any admissions from the line negatively affect school children, but also traffic nightmares will be unavoidable. There already are traffic problems with the school traffic and people turning onto 86 from County Road 45 and Kiowa Bennett Road. There is a crossing guard on 86 at County Road 45. However, there is nothing at the Kiowa Bennett Road. Large trucks will not be able to turn onto Kiowa Bennett Road without waiting to be able to make the corner, as they all must go into the other lane to make the turn. We already see this problem with county trucks. The safety issue must be addressed. Why is XL going through a large area of private property when they already have a route with easements they could use? Corporate greed is the only answer. Will Elbert County actually receive the complete sign-in sheets as required, as well as all of the comment cards that we're giving at these meetings? The cards only went to XL and can easily be manipulated to eliminate any negative comments. Elbert County will receive no benefits from this line. No one in our county receives electricity from XL. Why do they want to destroy our county for their own benefit? Has XL even talked to the town of Kiowa? This will negatively impact them, and the town should have a say in the filings. The chance of a gigantic wildfire is greatly increased with this route. After the Marshall Fire, we all should think twice before allowing these types of lines to be anywhere near homes, buildings, livestock, and residents. Our local fire departments could not handle any fire of this magnitude. Our county would be destroyed. Please ask your own county employees about the problems they have with equipment when they are near these type of lines. The emissions from the lines could cause great harm. I implore you, our elected officials, to protect Elbert County and follow the will of the people. Only you can protect our citizens. Please follow your oaths of office and do the right thing for Elbert County. Thank you for your time and consideration. Beverly Durant. All right, now we'll go to public comment. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak? Please, sir, you can go first. And you'll need to state your name and address, please.
My name is Williamson, 41591 Way of Goodness. Gentlemen, I attended the meeting in Simla, and I asked repeatedly how the decision was made for the route that they are proposing, and all I got repeatedly was the answer, consultants. And I said, that's not an answer. There's got to be a reason why you chose this route and not to skirt around the east side of the county and follow the I-70 corridor that's already been developed and the other easement areas that they've got. I know they didn't choose this route because of environmental concerns, because they have no environmental concerns, because they claim they're exempted from any kind of environmental considerations. So having done this kind of work, heavy civil construction, most of my adult life all over the world, I know from personal experience that coming through the town of Kiowa is going to be more difficult, it's going to be more expensive, it's going to have more ramifications than working out in the open areas out on the east side of the county. So what I'd like to know from Public Service or Xcel Energy is what is the reasoning? What was the criteria to pick this? And I won't be surprised that it's money somewhere down the line. I don't know where, I don't know what, but I read Ms. Giblett sent out a note and said that security was required over here at the fairgrounds because they didn't feel safe. Doing the kind of work that I did most of my adult life, when you poison somebody's drinking water, they get kind of upset, and you go in and try to clean that up. People get upset when they're lied to, and people know when they're being lied to. And you can either lie by making a statement, and you can lie by denying that you know an answer. But either way, people don't appreciate being lied to. This county belongs to us. You represent us. But this county belongs to us. Lord knows we're paying enough in property taxes now. And I would like to see Public Service have a real meeting and take real questions and be forced to answer real questions with real answers as to why they want it this route, what the driving force is, and why they won't use the alternative that we have proposed as a community. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name written down.
Williamson.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Dawn Gray.
Thank you, Commissioners. Don Gray, 16,000 Highway 86. You're going to hear a lot of the same going on today, obviously. We're in disagreement that Xcel actually had any meetings. We'd request that the county ask Xcel to have a meeting that they can answer questions. Ditto to what's ever going to be said moving forward, because I'm going to be proactive. One of my big concerns is there's a shift from community input to Xcel to Xcel going through the commissioners, through the county. They're basically telling us that they're checking boxes and they're going to move forward with whatever they're going to do. Our voices are going to be heard through you, so I'm just asking you to be transparent with the citizens of this county to let us know that our voices are being heard through to Xcel. So those are our main concerns. I appreciate your time and your consideration of those issues. Thank you.
Sonny Mills.
Okay, you've heard from me before. Do you need my address?
Would you please?
Okay. 27310 Forest Ridge Drive, Kiowa, Colorado. You've heard from me, but you probably don't know that my great-great-grandfather was the first dairyman in the Northwest. He came on the Oregon Trail and opened the dairy in the 1850s. My great-grandmother ran the largest sawmill in Portland, and she ran a 160-acre homestead on the Snake River. My grandfather manufactured all the red brick, Weezer brick in the Northwest. Any old buildings you see were my grandfather's. I am a Western woman. There are two concerns in the West: water and fire. I've seen the Democrats and the Republicans from the East. They have no clue. I don't care what their party is. We need to bury the line, wherever it is. We need a nonpartisan approach. We need a cost-benefit analysis of the project. This is the first infrastructure program in 50 years. We won't have another one for 50 years. If you do a cost-benefit analysis, you'll see that burying the lines has the same cost over 50 years. I was told by an engineer from Excel that it's going to cost $100 million to bury the line. That is only 10% of the total cost of the contract, easily covered, unless you don't want to give your profit to the international shareholders, which include Saudi Arabia, China, and others. Now let's talk about Elbert County. The Marshall Fire happened around noon, and they had lots of paved roads. They had fully funded fire districts, no forests, and it was in the middle of March. How will we address fire danger here in Elbert County? The fire incinerated 9 square miles. Excel has offered us 1 fire truck.
Commissioners, that's 3 minutes.
There are many more requirements through NAFTA for fire safety. Elbert County population centers are within 9 square miles: Elizabeth, Spring Valley, and Kiowa. Why do I care? We actually had a fire on our ridge. The fire took out 4 homes and outbuildings. It took them half an hour to disappear.
You'll need to summarize.
Not all of the fire trucks arrived in time. The wind switched, and all of the animals were put on trailers, and horses, donkeys, goats, alpaca, cattle, and they all came south on our road. Pretty soon it was bumper to bumper. There is no way anyone can get away from a fire in Elbert County that starts with XL lines. Bury the line.
Thank you. Julie Snow Kloppenberg. Was that close enough?
My name is Julie Snow Kloppenberg. I reside at 40500 Bluebell Trail in Elizabeth. My parents own property off County Road 174, parcel number 6333, 100, 152, and 153. Core already has a permanent 75-foot easement with a 115 kilovolt line running through it. Excel is asking for a 150-foot easement from the edge of the 75-foot easement of Core to install their 345 kilovolt line right next to the Core line, making the two together 460 kilovolts running through the air. We are to believe that livestock and humans are not to be affected. In addition, if Excel gets their way, the easement allows for them to add bigger poles or options to do anything they want on or in the easement, and yes, I have had this reviewed and is accurate. Are you not concerned about the effect on Elbert County? Its right to farm, its right to a rural life. I asked Excel what this line would do for Elbert County. A big permit fee, but otherwise absolutely nothing. The 2 meetings that Excel was required to have were open houses without any answers, just fancy poster boards and maps, and not enough representatives to answer any questions. But it was done to check the box so Excel can ask you to approve the permit 1041. How do I know this to be true? Because my parents and I received a lovely email from the land agent from Excel just yesterday morning that said, and I quote, and can provide a copy, "Good morning, Julie. It has been a while since we last spoke regarding the negotiations for a permanent easement on your properties for Excel. The last time we talked, you stated you did not wish to continue negotiations with me. I am reaching out to you today to let you know that Excel has asked that I reach out to all landowners who I have not been able to reach an agreement with yet, and let them know that the route as depicted in the attached exhibits will not be changing at this time. If a reroute discussion needs to occur as it relates to routing in a different location on your parcels, Excel is still open to discussions as it relates to this, but the route itself will not be relocated onto another parcel. Please let me know if you would like to continue negotiations as it relates to Excel's request for a permanent easement, or if you would prefer to transfer your negotiations on this matter with Excel's attorneys instead, unquote. Does this sound like a proposal or a threat to one of your Elbert County landowners that have lived here for over 45 years? When do we start believing that you are not on board with this and will fight for the people of this county and not the big Goliath ramming this down our throats? Sorry. If Excel gets their way, my parents will lose a 150-foot easement of 18 acres, then an additional 100 feet of a building envelope that the county requires from property line, an additional 12 acres, a total of 30 acres of wasteland. In addition to the fact that I do not know one person, one animal for that matter, that wants to live with 460 kilovolts running over their heads. But maybe if someone from Excel or any one of you would like to buy some land off County Road 174 and build your dream home, let me know.
Commissioners, that's 3 minutes.
Thank you. Next is Rick Orcott.
Commissioners, thank you for giving me a minute to speak. My name is Rick Orcutt. I live at 3535 County Road 141, Raymond, Colorado. We actually live down in the L, about 2 miles north of the Lincoln County line. This line is what Excel is proposing or demanding, goes right through the middle of our property. We have told them on every occasion, no, absolutely, we will not agree to it. We've been flat out told that it's just going to go, and they've given us no reason. We've given them alternative routes. We've suggested better ways, ways that did not involve going over people's houses. We have, our ranch is historic. My great-grandfather homesteaded in 1906, and we've owned it since. It's got some endangered species on it. We've told it goes right over a cemetery right next to our property, the Kanza, K-A-N-Z-A cemetery. And they've just disregarded everything we've said. Last week at Kiowa, they said, oh, we're going to reroute the line. I can't believe them because they've lied to us and everybody, which can be attested to by everybody. They've lied to us at every opportunity. So what I'd like to do is ask that when the permitting process comes through, that you oppose it and vote no. Do not allow them to go through the property. They've done nothing but lie and promises, and it's just nothing's going to happen. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Berna Delaveau. I'm not sure I pronounced that right, but...
My name's Berna Delaveau. I live on 146 County Road in Elizabeth, and I wanted to just say I was at the Excel open house, and again, I saw the same placards that I saw before, and also with the same representatives telling me the same responses that they told me the last time I was there. I just wanted to urge the commissioners to request a meeting where Excel presents their plans and allows a time for questions from the Elbert County citizens. Questions such as, why don't they use the eastern corridor that they have already, underground lines? Questions like the risk of fires, the affected property values, the wildlife habitat, the effect on the migratory birds, the effect on the people who have medical issues that have to live underneath these, that it could disrupt their medical devices, and how much money will Excel make in government subsidies, and that I see no benefits to Elbert County at all. So again, I please urge you to have Excel set up a meeting to have the citizens voice their concerns and get some of their questions answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Carrie Giblets.
It's 19656 Wiedemeyer Road, and I am on the board of Elbert County Environmental Alliance. At the open house that Excel held in Simla and in Kiowa, I won't call it a meeting because it was not a meeting, we set up a table, greeted people as they came in, and also talked with them as they left. Just to give you a report from our perspective, our estimate was there were 285 people attending. Out of those people, only one person that I talked to said they had no problem with it. Everybody else was against. Excel posted a code of conduct at the Kiowa open house and required people to sign it as they entered. We talked with the deputies who were there. Elbert County deputies assured us that it was a public meeting and that there was no need for us to sign in. Their code of conduct prohibited the public from carrying in any signs with their opinions on them, yet their whole presentation was signs. The deputies said that the signs were fine as long as they didn't pose a security risk. I found it really interesting that the deputies I talked to were unaware that Excel had a security team. I would have thought they would have been working in conjunction, but they didn't even know there were a security team. Most people we talked to expected a formal meeting with a presentation and a question and answer period. They would like to have a meeting held that would be recorded so that answers could be on public record, because the answers they were getting kept changing depending upon who they talked to. The open house format was intimidating for many people. People reported that they were uncomfortable asking questions, and several said that they never even saw an Excel representative. Many of the placards and tables were unattended, and I have heard that some of the reps couldn't even explain the placards that were there. I heard concerns about the laydown yards Excel wants to put along Highway 86, which would create a lot of truck traffic through the town of Kiowa, back and forth through the town, by the schools, and then there were worries about the trucks making the turn onto Kiowa Bennett Road. I was told that Excel will be filing their application in 3 to 4 months. As citizens left, many were disheartened. They were told that, one, Excel has heard all the arguments, wildlife, fire, views, etc., and there is nothing that we can throw at them that will make them change their mind. They were told that it was a done deal. This is the route. They were told that if you, the commissioners, say no, they will just have the PUC overturn your decision. Since the meeting, we've been hearing from members about Excel's contacts with them that are bordering on bullying, and you've heard one of those already. So I just wanted to give you that report from our perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Susan Knapp.
Hi, I'm Susan Knapp, and we brought the property to 11340 Copper Canyon Circle. My grandparents were from this area and had homesteaded it. My mother was born in Araba, so this was a dream to be able to come back here. In the meantime, I must say that on July 3rd at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we turned up Copper Canyon, and there was like 3 or 4 people on this other side of Mr. Copper's fence. I thought, that's kind of, who's this? They're not usually out here. And I said to the guy something about, what are y'all doing out here the day before this holiday? And he said, oh, we don't live here, we're just working. They were the surveyors that would come out before the 4th of July to work on it, which just seems strange that they didn't want the rest of us to know about that part. In the meantime, also, I too looked at the possibilities underground and the additional cost, but then had another thought as I drove to Burlington to a meeting last Sunday night and saw the windmills out there, and I've heard through some other outsides. I was on a Arapahoe Planning Commission for 17 years. 150-foot easement is a large easement. In the meantime, in the event, we don't go from windmills now, people are looking at solar. If Excel thought that they could put solar throughout long lengths of this easement instead, that too would be an inappropriate look for the rest of us. The underground is a reason they wouldn't want that if they want to, and once they get the property, if we can't limit some of their expectations and they decide to do something like these solar panels, we could be left with it if we can't limit what they're wanting. Thank you for letting me be here this morning.
Thank you. Gary Austin.
Morning, it's Gary Austin, 31820 Private Road 057, Kiowa. The address doesn't really tell you much about it, but if you go 3 miles from the post office up the slow hill, it's the first place where the trees cross both sides of the highway. My main issue is that after living there 35 years, the proposal to run the route along the highway will eliminate about a third to a half, depending on exactly how big they make it, of all those trees. I will say during the drought in 01, 02, the bad one, we had a professional forestry guy come out and look at it because we lost 9 trees. It was a big concern of mine. He said, well, those trees haven't seen this dry a climate in the last 300 years because that's how old they are. And it's very sobering to understand that I planted trees when I first moved out here for windbreaks and for a nice look around the house. And watered them, fertilized them, babied them, took care of them, and they're about 20 feet tall, maybe 25 feet tall in the last 35 years. These trees are 100 to 200 feet tall, and it takes that long for them to grow. So I support every single comment that's been made so far, and I believe the people have been quite clear. I also can tell you that in my career, I worked a lot of pipeline right-of-way issues, but those are buried, not above ground. And I was in on a lot of BLM and Forest Service public open houses from development companies. I have never been in all those meetings, all those years, all over the western U.S., from Alaska to here. It's such a terrible response. I asked specific questions at specific sites, and I got this. I don't know. No explanation. So it was pretty awful as a method for how we would learn about the route. The only other thing is, we did hear at Simla, I personally heard it, that they aren't going to change anything. So I sincerely support anything you guys can do on behalf of other residents of the county, because it is a terribly intrusive and destructive project. Amen.
Thank you. You were the last person on the list. Is there anyone else here that wishes to speak?
I'm Tom Lassiter, 35437 US Highway 24, Matheson, Colorado. So I really appreciate everybody showing up today and talking to the commissioners. Can you please turn around and speak? Sure. So I appreciate everyone showing up today to talk to the commissioners. And I think it's important that the commissioners hear everyone's frustration. And I can't really add anything to what everyone has said, but I will add this, that we're all wasting our time going to these meetings with Excel and to these meetings with the commissioners. It's time for everybody to sue Excel Energy, and that's what I'm planning to do. So if you want to learn more about this effort, come find me outside of this meeting, because a lot of you are going to lose huge amounts of money because of this project, and for many of you, it's your life savings. So putting a few $1,000s into suing Excel is really the next step, and that's what they'll listen to. They will really wake up when they see a lawsuit filed. Nothing else matters. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Chuck Hughes, 19753 Wiedemeyer Road. Cynthia, congratulations on your new job. I got your name right? I'm trying to talk into it. Thank you very much. Your comments, Cynthia, included 2 words that jumped out at me big time. It was preserve and sustain. I think you said those two words is your goal. And I think everyone here, probably the vast majority of Elbert County residents agree, preserve and sustain. And this plan of Excel's does neither. It doesn't sustain an energy source because, was it Williamson? Mr. Williamson, you asked them why the lines?
Yes.
I did too. I got the same answer. I don't know. I mean, they sent their fifth string, who knows what, because I got to why do we need these lines? And they answered, I don't know. Those two open houses were corporate America at its worst. No answers, really a poor performance by Excel, and just a callous presentation or lack of presentation. And the answer that I glean out of the public information, the why, was stated by one of the Public Utilities Commissioners, a Governor Polis appointed outfit there, that they intend to slather the eastern plains of Colorado with wind generators. And it's no secret, I am not a fan of those wind turbines. I don't think they are an economical answer at all, and Cynthia, not sustainable. And it's just contrary to what Elbert County residents and residents of many other counties on the Colorado's eastern plains are fighting. So I think that they should be forced to find an alternative that allows the citizenry and the county commissioners of Elbert County to preserve and sustain. And I'm not anti-growth. I think a good portion of Elbert County is anti-growth. I'm pro-growth. But let's do it in a way that, Cynthia, thank you for the words, preserves and sustains. Thanks.
Thank you. Please come forward.
My name is Lark Fogel, and my address is 31242 Wiedemeyer Road in Kiowa. I did attend the meeting on Wednesday. Before I describe that interaction, I'm an inactive, retired litigation attorney in Colorado. Currently, I'm a venue owner, a wedding venue on Wiedemeyer Road that depends heavily on the beauty of the natural surroundings for the marketing, for our success. Many people in this room may have been to our venue. We entertain 2 to 3 weddings from April until this Saturday is our last one of the season. So I would estimate 8,000 to 9,000 people come to our venue. They enjoy the county, they spend money coming here, they spend the day. We support food trucks, local restaurants. Our business supports the gas stations. Folks are always filling up before they come or go. Anyway, this project, it's our visual corridor, and it's going to be super ugly. I went Wednesday and talked to, my first question was to any Excel person, by what authority are you going to get this easement through private property owners who are resisting you? And the response was, we're just going to negotiate with them. We're going to pay them a fair market value for coming through their property, either, by easement or by just purchasing the land. And I did look at their plan has a budget, and you were underestimated. I can't remember the speaker, but $1 billion is cheap. It's a $1.7 billion project. $117 million is set aside for the property purchases and easement purchases. So I said, let's say the landowner doesn't agree to let you go through their property. What then? And she eventually told me they were going to exercise eminent domain. And I said, can you give me the authority for that kind of condemnation? She said, I cannot. And I said, aren't you the land person I was pointed to who is supposed to answer these questions. She says, well, why don't you, here's my card, you email me and I'll find out and then let you know. Well, I declined to reach out in that fashion, but I did reach out to the Public Utilities Commission and asked if this power pathway is subject to the Colorado statutes that limits eminent domain. And they didn't answer me directly on that question, but they did provide me with the Colorado Public Utility Commission decision that was a result of the settlement agreement between all of the parties after the application in January of 2021 for this project. Included in that decision was a tabling of the determination of any issues associated with statutory interpretation. Well, they have since made that determination. There is a proceeding in the administrative level. It's called 21A0141E. It's a footnote in the settlement agreement. And they have determined that this power pathway is a clean energy plan activity. And therefore, I strongly believe, and it would be my opinion that I'd tell any landowner here and anyone who asks me that Colorado Statute 42-124 limits eminent domain, prohibits in the creation and siting of this power pathway, the Xcel Energy, the power company, is not allowed to exercise eminent domain. So that's the good news. I think that's good news. Like I said, I'm not a utilities lawyer. I'm not even a statutory lawyer or a government lawyer. I did workers' comp and car crashes. But I really think that I'm very confident, and that would be my advice to anybody: resist the agreement. If you don't want to sell or pay or have them pay you for an easement, you don't have to. Force them to come up against this statute, which prohibits them, and they'll have to take a different route. I think it's a powerful weapon that we have. It was a decision that was made by the legislature in 2004. It has since been reinterpreted in this, that 40.2-125.5 is impacted by this pathway. And if you look at that's the Carbon Emissions Reduction Act that Colorado has adopted. I got a little into the weeds last night. I took the liberty of emailing you this earlier in advance of today's meeting. I'm sure you probably haven't had a chance to look at any of it, Commissioner. But I also reached out to our county attorney to ask his thoughts on it. And he said he would maybe try to get to it. That was last week, before I had the high confidence I do now. Because I'm telling you in a public forum that I believe that this statute is enforceable, and I believe that any landowner could use it to resist Xcel when they try to exercise or say that they can exercise eminent domain. It does not affect your home rule abilities. The statute's clear on that. So again, I'm going to make the same appeal everybody else has today. Please don't, as a governing authority, condemn anybody's property to let this pathway go through. It's in none of our interests. And as our stewards, it's your job to resist it. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Please, ma'am.
I'm Dina Basio at 3320 Meadowlark Court. I moved here a year and a half ago because I wanted the rural life. And I just want to remind you in your decision-making that we are all brothers and sisters under the one Holy Father God. And that I ask that you pray about this because all the valid points have been presented to you. I have nothing more to offer except the Lord above. And so I do ask because it pains me to know that in my community, my neighbors are being affected directly. I will be affected indirectly by seeing the Goliaths coursing through our beautiful county. I love this county. Doesn't matter, I've only been here 18 months compared to 35 years. I care about it just as much as everybody else. And I have found that everyone has been sensible. As far as the community, everyone has been factual. When I dealt with Excel this last Wednesday, they were evasive and said, just write your comments on paper. I'm not a piece of paper. We are not pieces of paper. We care about our community, we care about our county, and we're passionate. And we were very sensible, respectful, and level-headed. We didn't need those codes. There was no, I'm nothing to fear. But I hope that you pray about this, because we are to be good stewards. The Lord has entrusted us. The Lord is entrusting you with this county. And it's a huge decision. But it's actually, to me, it seems a very easy decision, because I've not heard or seen one benefit to our county by this Goliath forcing its way in onto people. I haven't heard one benefit. And no one's using scare tactics. And I applaud my community. I applaud my fellow brothers, and we're related, we're family. So I just ask that you take that into consideration when you go to make this decision, and I hope that you make the decision to tell Excel no. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else that wishes to speak? Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? I thought I saw a hand there. Please.
Yes, Dan Mason. I live 2 miles east of town on County Road 134 in Yellow Pine Ranch. I've lived out of here for 22 years, and I'm going to join everybody else here. I'm against the power line coming through for all the reasons that have been previously stated here so well. The power lines won't be running through my land, but I'm going to see them, and if I lived on land where the power lines were running through, I would definitely be opposed to it and wouldn't want it to happen on my land either. So I support all the people here that are going to possibly have those power lines running through their land. Hopefully the information presented by Lark Fogel here about the statutory limitation on the eminent domain can be useful. That definitely needs to be looked into. We all know that the bottom line is the only consideration that Excel really has, and it's obviously that the routing is the least expensive for Excel and will give them the most profit, which will also in turn result in stockholder benefits and management benefits where they get incentive bonuses based upon their performance. So I'm sure that this line routing has a lot to do with that. I'm opposed to the power line. Hopefully they don't do it, and hopefully you guys will be able to prevail in some way. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have anyone else that wishes to speak? Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? There being none, we'll close that portion of the meeting. The next item on the agenda is discussion items. I don't believe that we have any of those, or Mark?
As far as I am aware, we don't have any at this point.
Thank you. Did you have any? Okay. Now we go to action items. Consideration of the October 11th, 2023 minutes.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from October 11th, 2023 and dispense with the reading of those minutes.
Second. May I have a vote?
Aye.
Aye. Now we're going to board planning for the next meeting. Do we have any agenda items for next meeting that we need to talk about? I believe we have several workshops and study sessions coming up.
We do have 3 workshops coming up on Monday, 9 a.m. All 3 will be in this location. Monday at 9 a.m., our Office of Emergency Management will be having a workshop going over the emergency response plan for the county, in coordination with all fires, municipalities, et cetera, for emergency response. At 10 a.m., we'll have a work study session detailing more information on the flock cameras, the automatic license plate readers. We will have a representative from the company on the phone for that work study session. And at 11 o'clock, we have a work study session to dive deeper into the 2024 budget.
Thank you. Pending hearings, do we have any of those coming up? We don't have any on the list, so we'll just leave that for the next 2 weeks as we go through getting ready for the next meeting. I believe that what we need to do now is just recess until 11 o'clock for the Board of Health presentation. Thank you, everyone, for all of the input, and we hear it loudly.